Transatlantic Wrestling Talk. I am your host, Andy, and I'm joined today, as always, by my co-host, Dale, for a brand new year. How are we doing, Dale?
Happy New Year, my friend. Yes, this is a brand new year. Same old faces, so we apologize about that. But we appreciate everybody that's sticking with us and actually watching with us. We've had amazing viewership, an increase in viewership and listening to and downloads as well, which is fascinating. So I want to thank everybody for that. And thank you once again, Andy, for putting together just such a fine show. We are fine-tuning things, and we're making sure that we're going to pump out some more content for you in better ways. So be on the lookout for that, and you will see maybe a couple more talking heads, sir, correct?
Yeah, a couple of new channels with some different content, because obviously we don't want to upset you all by changing the content too much. So we're just going to open up the different channels, which gives you a chance to watch what you want to watch, really.
Yeah. And we're just excited to bring on these new faces. They might be familiar to you, to some of you that know where Andy originated from, and technically me too. Technically I originated here, right? And then add on and then left. But that's another story. But just to go into it today, we're going January 2008. Royal Rumble taking place in my backyard, which is the most overrated stadium ever, Madison Square Garden.
Do you reckon? Why'd you say
it's
that?
Okay. It's okay. I haven't been to it since not during this event. I think I went to an event afterwards there, but it was non-wrestling related. But I think if anybody, Dante from Clerks, you know the movie Clerks? Yeah. So I met him, and Dante from Clerks and I were talking about hockey. And he said, "Have you been to the new Garden?" And I go, "No, not yet." And he's a Devil fan. Oh, no, he's a Ranger fan. But he goes to me, he goes, "Dude, it's amazing." And him and I were having a conversation about it. And I haven't been there since. So I guess Dante told me, or he put the hex on me to go there. And then I told him I wasn't even supposed to work today.
Oh, dear.
Very nice guy, though.
Yeah, well, let's get into this Royal Rumble 2008. Really good Royal Rumble, to be fair. It was one of the better ones. I know you're going to be a biased guy because of the fact that you were there, but you know it was a good one. What were your thoughts on it overall?
If I with clear lenses, and I'll even as a fan being there were things I enjoyed. At that time, there's a few of my favorite wrestlers that have ever been around on the card, so that definitely helped. There was a lot of, I'll say this. I won't put on the lens of, oh my God, it was amazing because I was there, because there were times, and I'll tell you when I was not happy, but there were times when I was just not, like impressed with certain things, like how there were certain debuts that were going on. And I'm not just talking about wrestlers. I mean, I will say this. The dark match was Jimmy Wang Yang and Shannon Moore against Deuce and Domino. And the funniest part about that is how hilarious the Jimmy Wang Yang character was.
It was.
But that gets you for a pop. And there was a few things along the way, the few matches along the way that I really enjoyed. But overall, I like the pay-per-view, and you and I love the Royal Rumble concept. I think as the time gets colder throughout the year, we know that the Royal Rumble will be there, so that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, and I think, you're quite right. It's very well placed in where it is in the year, because of the fact that, as you say, it's middle of winter, it's miserable. Everybody's on a come down from Christmas, and then, it's the Rumble. Like, I done it yesterday where I looked and I was like, it's only 2 weeks to the Rumble. And, that little smile, and, it does kind of, and then obviously it's the road to WrestleMania and stuff like that as well. So,
yeah. This is when everything falls into place. And I also think strategically they made it to where the weekend before the Super Bowl would have the Royal Rumble. But ever since the NFL extended their games by now there's 17 regular season games, they pushed everything back a week. So there's still going to be that overflow. But now pay-per-views, or I'm sorry, premium live events are on Saturdays. That's not going to matter anyway.
No.
For the most part. But yeah, we'll touch on how that affected Super Bowl things here later on. But anyway, we're going to start this off. And let me ask you something. This was Ric Flair's. Did you know that this was Ric Flair's first match, singles match at Madison Square Garden.
No, it wasn't.
I shit you not.
Ah, that's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, came out. That's how you start up a pay-per-view. And this was a career-threatening match. He was on that nice little road there. Now, before we go into this match, I will say this. The writing was on the wall. We all knew what was going to happen, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know who the players were.
No.
We go into this with Ric Flair facing MVP, Montel Vontavious Porter. Try to say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, no chance.
No. Quick reference here. What Culture created a wonderful list. And it was a website. And obviously, we all know What Culture. And basically, they went about 10 fascinating WWE Royal Rumble facts. And going through this, there were things that I had no idea that, were even impacting today. This was the first pay-per-view to be broadcast in high def.
Yeah, it's crazy that, isn't it?
Yeah. Just how far we've come.
Yeah, and it's going so far, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's gone so far since then. Like, high definition now is crazy because remember when we had the Blu-rays and we had the short-lived HD DVDs and stuff, and, look where we're at now with full 4K and everything else. It's even evolved a lot since then, hasn't it? To the point where now I don't really see how much further we can go with it.
They're going to be touching you, or it's going to be smell-o-vision.
Yeah.
Can't wait
where
for
it
that.
just floats all around you or something like that. I think it's probably the next one.
Yeah, it's going to be like the movie AI. Actually, no, that movie depressed the crap out of me.
Well, we had, to be honest, I watched the Champions League final in the football.
Yes.
Real football. I was watching the Champions League final last year, and they had on YouTube for free the VR experience, so you could actually watch it in full VR.
So what'd they do?
So you put the headset on. I had to go with it, and it was like you were in the crowd. You could see the...
Oh, wow. They'll definitely look into that, I'm sure. I would think this company would look into that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely the next step, isn't it?
Yeah, well, look, people have to realize that WWE is a company, correct?
Yeah.
And they might be purchased by other people.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into that now. I think we're going to get into that a bit more on the new channel. We'll go through some modern day stuff, but I've got a lot to say about that, and I don't really want to do it on here because I'm in my happy place right now. So
nothing wrong with that. Oh yeah, but people got to come to terms with the fact that look, you're gonna have to. Nothing's gonna happen to your content. Don't you worry.
Yeah, pull it off, you gimps.
Anyway, so just anyway, going back to Royal Rumble 2008, starting it off, Ric Flair comes out and gives a nice speech. And then it gets interrupted with, "I'm coming."
As he wants the nun said to the bishop.
Oh boy. All right, so.
But yeah, no, do you know one thing I want to say about this straight away is it was great storytelling, not just from this match in particular, but from this whole, from the road to WrestleMania going forward. It was kind of, retirement match, and then obviously Shawn Michaels, which was the right move, was the one to put him away at the end of WrestleMania, which was emotionally charged match. But we believe he fought Mr. Kennedy as well, didn't he, at No Way Out?
Yeah. That would actually get teased too during this pay-per-view.
So every time there was another bit of a chance of it going to the opposite way to get him through to this retirement, do you know what I mean? And every time the stakes were upped a little bit. And
hey, look, MVP was the United States champion at this time. So he's like, you know what? I'll put up my legacy. I don't care. Isn't for my belt. So it's a nice little out when he quits because he knows that it's not going to be. By the way, the match was pretty decent. It was a little clunky at some points because you could tell that maybe MVP was a step or two quicker than Rick. But yeah, that's going to happen with a 60-something-year-old man at the time.
Yeah.
Fine. I'm not going to sit there and nitpick that because, like you said, this is all about a storytelling. 1,000% agree. Shawn would have been the right one. They teased that in the backstage vignette too, which was very nice beforehand. I think one of the best parts that's not spoken about the Royal Rumble itself is just the promos beforehand. You remember the legendary backdrop with people screaming at the top of their lungs. That they toned that down, but you had those fantastic interactions. Last year, you and I talked about Royal Rumble 2005, Eddie Guerrero stealing a number from Ric Flair.
Yeah.
We had John Cena facing Christian in a rap battle, and he asked Tomko to give him a beat, and Tomko just shook his head. These are hilarious.
Yeah. What do you think about the whole number getting? See, I always like the number getting scenario. They don't really do that a lot anymore, apart from like maybe they'll do a match stipulation for number 30 or something. But you know what I mean? Where it's kind of like everyone goes in and pulls the number from the tombola type thing.
You want my opinion? Bring it back. That was fun TV, and you didn't have to invest money into it.
No,
you invested $30 in a bingo cage, get it used for 15, put ping pong balls with numbers in it, and just let the expression on people's face tell you how they did. Yeah. It's natural. It's better than spending $2.5 million on puppets and an uncle that looks creepy that's going to wrestle. Oh, I'm sorry. That'll be on our next channel. But yeah, you're absolutely right. They have to bring that back. I fully agree. I would love that, please. I think we should poll the audience on that one too.
Yeah, definitely. So we just have to wait and see how it goes with that, because I think like that's something that they could potentially bring back, because one thing I do like with Triple H is a lot of stuff seems to make sense. So we may see that. But in this one anyway, we got Ric Flair gets the win, prolongs his career, and we keep on with this story, which is awesome.
I'm coming. I loved MVP, and I think MVP's role right now is great.
Yeah. No, I did. I liked him in that one. Okay, right. So we'll move on to our next match. We had John Bradshaw Layfield defeated Chris Jericho by disqualification. I like this match, and I don't like this match at the same time.
I think alike.
The in-ring stuff I really liked, but these two against each other, just for me, just don't.
Yeah, it didn't gel.
No, I think because they're both egotistical, characters and whatnot. Even when you put Jericho as a good guy or Bradshaw, it just doesn't work, does it, for me?
This was supposed to go all the way to WrestleMania somehow.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why they've probably pulled the plug on it, because of the fact that they've just realised that this is just not going to work.
No, and it didn't. But the physicality in this was fun. You had some good lasting images. I don't know what it is with JBL, but when we think of JBL in these matches, you think of him either doing something really heel-like, something dangerous, between what we talk about with Eddie Guerrero, here a bloody Jericho.
Yeah.
He even made Shawn Michaels a servant at some point too.
Yeah.
Just bad stuff, man. These two, I'm not going to say it didn't gel, but how could you prolong this? Like, no,
I think the thing is, sorry, I'm not saying that they don't gel. It's just, for me personally, I think that I just didn't feel like them two together was money. Because of the similarities to the character.
I think they'll both admit that too.
Yeah.
I think they'll both admit that. It was okay. I think the lasting image is just how Jericho said, fuck this, and hit him with a chair.
It's like always with Triple H and Batista. I never thought they were. Do you know what I mean? I thought that whole Ric Flair story was a really good one to get around it and get him, with the jealousy and stuff. But all in all, I just never really bought them two either, because I just felt like they were just too similar.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with that. It's just, especially when it's like, well, who's better, Jericho a heel or babyface too?
Yeah, it's like what's called another one, Brock Lesnar versus Batista. It's something I've never really been interested in or want to see or anything like that.
Has that happened?
Don't think so. No. Oh, it's not something I don't think I'd ever want to see.
I would.
Would you?
I would like to see how Drax the Destroyer would face the Beast Incarnate. I something about that, man. I just think it would really be interesting. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't know why. Oh yeah, they have had a match.
Did they?
Oh yeah, 26th of December 2019.
Lesnar and Batista?
Or is that just a? Hang on.
Hold on. That would have been a big deal. You and I would have
Oh
remembered
no,
that.
they haven't. They haven't. Some doucheheads just put a thing on of an old WWE thing.
I hate the. Okay, I get the fantasy bookers and they do a good job with putting the pictures on people, unlike me.
Yeah.
But I would actually like to see that, and I think you might get that at WrestleMania, Andy.
No, definitely not. I think it's going to be Gunter versus thingy. Don't want it. Well, anyway, Bradshaw defeated Chris Jericho by disqualification. And thank God for the fact that it didn't go any further than that.
Mm-hmm. Backstage vignettes, though, we forgot about a couple here. Mike Adamle gets introduced for his first time around and messes up Jeff Hardy's name and calls him Jeff Harvey. So, he was fit to be an announcer for ECW at that point. Then you also have Santino Marella coming out and going after Maria Kanellis, who's in the ring, because Ashley Massaro said, "Hey, I called Hugh Hefner. You're going to be he wants you to come to Playboy." Santino says, "No, don't go to that smut." Then he starts making fun of the crowd because the Giants are going to be in the Super Bowl against the Patriots a week later. You really think you could beat Tom Brady? They're an undefeated team. What happened, Andy?
I do. Help me out here.
Giants won the Super Bowl. Giants won the Super Bowl.
They did win the Super Bowl 2018, yeah.
Well, 2008.
2008, sorry, yeah.
And they beat the undefeated Patriots.
Yeah. You got to bear with me here. I'm still trying to learn my Giant history. I only adopted them because of, obviously yourself. So we've it's been taking me a while, but I have looked for. I haven't needed the NFL team for a while. So, and I'm actually enjoying it. And I'm going to be watching. What time's the playoff match tonight?
4:30 Eastern Standard Time here.
So that will be
10:30.
10:30. Yeah, so it's the early one. That's brilliant. That was what I was looking for. So shall be watching that tonight.
Yeah. Then hopefully I don't. Hopefully it's a better outcome for me.
I think we will. We've got a good what's it called, haven't we? Back line, off defensive line's very, very good.
That's right. Ooh, look at you.
See?
Ooh. You're picking up on that.
I am learning, myself.
Defensive line. I like the back line though. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, doke. Right. So, just to let you know as well with this one, I did like the finish to this as much as I didn't like them two gelling. The fact that JBL losing his temper and strangling him with a wire, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's good image too. JBL just dastardly, and everybody wanted to see him get his ass kicked there.
Yeah. Okay, doke. Well, the third match on this card was World Championship. Edge taking on Rey Mysterio. Good, solid match. During the match, Vicky Guerrero stood up with the wheelchair, attempting to confront Edge. Mysterio had Edge set up for the 619. Vicky jumped in the way. Edge recovered spear mid-air. Game over. Really, really good match. I enjoyed this match.
Yes, you know what you're getting. You insert these guys' names in there. I mean, you know what you're getting.
Yeah. And Rey Mysterio 08 was just still really, really good, wasn't it? I just think 14 years later, and he's still popping about. That's why, now, I think sometimes I don't get annoyed with Rey, but sometimes I think, he's doing this or whatever it may be, and then I think to myself how old he is and everything else, and I think, yeah, well, you get a pass. So
he's just amazing. He's incredible. He's he's what every company would want. It's just incredible person.
Yeah.
I think what are they leading with? Dominic Mysterio, his son and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that at some point I would laugh. Hopefully Rey Mysterio is never going to hit his son, and Dominic ends up knocking him out of the Royal Rumble and blah, 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 or vice versa. And then at the, a couple of weeks before WrestleMania, Dominic's in the ring with Judgment Day. And then Rey comes out on the ramp and does an Undertaker-like promo, striking the lightning through the ring, saying, "I will take you on."
Oh, as I said, honest to God, it's got funny. I do like Dominic's character though now. The way that he's been popping about with that the mask on his face and all that stuff, it just makes me laugh.
In the bandana, yeah.
Yeah, it
He
does
went to
make me
jail.
laugh. Like, yeah.
Look, this is what happens when you invest time and you don't have to do a lot to it.
No, do your heck like, do you know what I mean? But it's really,
Yeah.
really cool. But
Vicky Guerrero getting Vicky Guerrero getting involved again, and this is a theme. This is how you get heat.
Yeah, and Vicky was just, I hated Vicky, but in a good way.
She did her job.
Yeah, it's one of them. I remember I was saying to her, I proper hate it, and Ashton looked at me dead funny and went, so why'd you smile when you say you hated that? I said, because that's what I'm meant to do, son.
Hey, so you watched this pay-per-view with Ashton?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So what did he think of it?
He liked it. He really liked it. He loves John Cena, doesn't he? You know, even Ashton of modern day still fits in with John Cena of old day. So he still, he still loves John Cena, as everybody does.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I think that's awesome, though. So, all right, we'll go through the match now. What is his? You know what? When we go through the match and we bring up the entrance here, okay, you have to tell me when you actually had to explain to him who somebody was.
In that match, I think probably he knows who.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. Let me just think in the first matches. So in the Royal Rumble, there was quite a bit, as there always is. Do you know what I mean? But
that's what I wanted to know. That's what I want to know. So when we're going through the Royal Rumble match, I want you to tell me what Ashton's reactions were. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Right. Well, we're going to the next match. Then we've got Intercontinental Champion Jeff Hardy takes on Orton for the WWE Championship. What can you say? Great match.
It was good build up.
Yeah.
And good vignettes. I mean, the production of this was just fantastic, showing you how important this match is with Randy Orton as the champion. 2008, 2009, Orton was a heel on another level.
Mm-hmm.
He was fantastic. Yeah. And then goes into just the struggles that Jeff had in his career. Just phenomenal stuff with Jeff going on, and just the backstage vignettes. And I like the footage that they had of his career and then splitting up with Matt Hardy. To recap it, I'm not going to say I'm not a Jeff Hardy fan, but if he lost the match, I didn't care. You and I did go into, I think, Money in the Bank, where he ended up winning the title. I think it was Money in the Bank or one of those, Armageddon last year.
Yeah, I think it was,
which will be later on this year. Technically, from what we're reviewing. But what did you think overall as far as the timing for Jeff to get that belt or go after a belt at this point?
I thought it was good timing. I think he deserved it, being around there for a long time, hadn't he, without actually coming up with anything.
Yeah.
So it was good to see him kind of start going towards something.
Do you feel as though it was because he hasn't had like a character change? He obviously hasn't needed it, because he's always just going to be this guy. He's like, want me to put it out there? He's going to be, this is what Darby's like. This is what Darby Allin could be like.
Yeah. I agree with you. The only thing, I just look at it and think, like with Jeff, it's like, because of the way that this match finished, I feel like that's why he was there, and that's why he should have been there, where Twist of Fate spin into the RKO. Them two together, he can make people look brilliant as well.
Yeah.
Now, for me, Jeff Hardy's always been, because even his run as champion wasn't great, was it? He's always the bridesmaid, never the bride type thing, and that's the way he should have been kept, in my eyes.
It doesn't matter, though. Look at this. Steamboat's reign after he beat Savage in one of the best matches ever didn't lead to anything.
No.
But we have that match.
That's it. And I think that's what it is with Jeff. I think Jeff's just one of them that you always knew he'd get a good match out of him, but he was never really one to be, the top guy, was he?
No. But I don't think he didn't really, he didn't need to be. This guy's just, anywhere he goes, he actually prints cash.
Yeah, I get you. I hear you.
But obviously his AEW run was nothing good.
Mm.
You know, if anything was hazardous, and it just made you realize how sad it is for the Hardys to be doing this.
Yeah.
But he's an attraction. Like I said, there's certain people that a company can have as attractions. He's one.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll move on. We'll move on to the Royal Rumble match itself, which is the main event. What's your thought on the Royal Rumble being the main event?
Should be. Should always be. It should always be.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with this being the highlight. This is why I went. I mean, I needed to go. I needed to fit my trifecta of going to the big four. Fit that made no sense. Fit the trifecta. That's 3. How about this? I needed to complete the quad of going to the big four. So this was the last one. I think. Yeah, this was the last one I needed to go to finish that.
No, it was a great event, and it was a great match. I really, really like it. Right, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tongue tizzler here for you.
Sure.
Who eliminated the most people in this Royal Rumble?
Is it Batista?
Nope. Just to give you a little help here, Batista got 4.
Well, who's in it for a while? I'm not sure. I figured Taker.
No, Taker got 3.
Wow. Okay. All right. Who was it?
So I'll give you. I'm going to be nice to you. I'm going to give you the top 3. Okay. Sorry, top 4. So we've got Undertaker with 3, Batista with 4, Kane with 3, John Cena with 4, and Triple H with 6.
Good for Trips. He came out late.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he come out at number 29.
And we're gonna go over some horse shit here. Hornswoggle enters the ring technically, and then goes under the ring. And as he's getting pulled out, Finley comes out and gets disqualified.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know.
How do you get as somebody in the crowd? You had no idea what was going on.
No, and the thing that always got me with that as well is like, how did he get disqualified in a match where the only way to lose is to get thrown over the thingy,
or at least announce it to the crowd? Or I'm not sure. Yeah, I think Michael Cole, as somebody said, you have to. They ended up getting eliminated or disqualified. So I thought that was kind of shit. But anyway, let's go through the top first 10. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 1, Undertaker. Number 2, Shawn Michaels. Okay. These are the last 2 competitors from last year's Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that. It's number 3, Santino Marella.
Yeah, Ashton didn't know who Santino was as well, by the way.
Oh, how was that explanation?
No, he knew exactly who it was.
Oh, he did know.
Yeah.
Okay. He just came to Impact
with
the same name.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. Number 4, Great Khali. Number 5, your favorite, Hardcore Holly. Number 6, the first ECW entrant, John Morrison, who was a freak, still a freak. Number 7, Tommy Dreamer, who was just hometown pop.
Yeah.
Number 8, Batista, who actually I wanted to win. Number 9, Hornswoggle. And number 10, Chuck Palumbo.
Great fighter.
So just going through those 10 real quick. So you have a lot of veterans in there. Then you have a guy like John Morrison going in there. Now, the other thing to realize is that Hornswoggle was still the son of Vince McMahon at this point. And there was a backstage vignette saying, "You're McMahon. You have to win this, and you can't trust anybody." Which in turn will lead to the WrestleMania match that we all wanted of John Bradshaw Layfield calling out Vince McMahon, saying he's not your son, Finley's the dad. Then they had the match where it was a Belfast Brawl match, and that's when a trash can was thrown at Hornswoggle with the greatest sound ever.
Yeah.
Just to digress from there. Any thoughts on those 10? On the first 10 that popped up?
Hardcore Holly's a douchehead. Great Khali, I think, is underrated.
What?
I think he's underrated.
As far as being tall?
Omos. When you see Great Carly and when you see Omos, you think to yourself, okay, Carly could actually have a pop.
Hey, look, when you're comparing those two, it's like puking on a pile of crap, man. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, don't you? It's like at least it's something, isn't it?
Yeah. At least Kali was embedded in our memory bank as opposed to Omos telling people spots in the middle of the ring. Isn't that great? All right. 11 through 20. Here we go. Jamie Noble. All right. Who apparently there was a feud between him and Chuck Palumbo, and I did not care. Number 12, CM Punk, who won a qualifier the night before at a house show.
I hate qualifiers. I hate them.
It's a filler.
Yeah. The only reason I hate them is because if you're going to have qualifiers, you should just fill up TV with the first 4 weeks of the year, just doing qualifiers for the whole 30. Or don't bother. Or turn around and say these are your seeded people. Do you know, like, say, for instance, in like the US Open or something in the tennis where they'll have like the top seeded guys who go through to the first round proper without doing anything, and you've got the other guys who have to go through the thing. So I think that may be the best way to do it. You know what I mean? Is do that. Say here are your top seeds. Everybody else qualifying matches.
Well, that's exactly. But it's like almost how like the cruiserweights will be relegated to just, okay, you guys, here's your one battle royal to go into the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah.
I think they did that with Paul London.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah. So looking at this, you have CM Punk coming in there. All right. Cody Rhodes, young Cody Rhodes, tag team champion with Hardcore Holly at that time. Umenga. Snitsky, who I'll get to him in a second. The Miz, Shelton Benjamin, Jimmy Snuka,
my guy Roddy Piper,
and Piper came in there, and the crowd. I went ballistic for Piper.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did. I'm not admitting, I probably would have cried. I've always got dead emotional even at that point.
Well, it was a good come up when I was giving Snuka the finger because I hate that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper came out. I could not believe it. The crowd went ballistic. And then number 20, Kane.
Yeah.
So just to let people know, the ECW Raw SmackDown mix was in full effect at this point. You're having a nice amount of every type of company in there, or I should say stable in there. Stable, show, right? Show is more a better way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a good mixture in there. Now, obviously, ECW is not going to get that many, but they're going to be represented in here. So just to top this off, Snitsky was somebody that I could not believe didn't really ever get some sort of like IC or United States run.
I can believe it. The character just wasn't a championship type of character.
The guy is, though.
The guy is, but if you're going to put that character on and then...
Well, the Maniac or the Feet Lover?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Once you do one or the other, you can't screw yourself because a Maniac doesn't care about the title and a foot fetish guy will just want to swap the title for feet. So...
Okay. But all right, but let's take a look at something real quick. If you take a look at Snitsky, shaved, right? And looking like a monster that he looked like. How couldn't he be a top guy in a territory as a top heel?
He probably could have, but I think they just ruined him.
Or do you think that they just had nobody to put him up against?
No, because they had The Undertaker and they had people to put him up against. They just probably didn't trust him to go into that position for whatever reason.
Did they in the ECW brand?
In ECW, yeah, but that's ECW, isn't it? It wasn't exactly... That's what they've probably tested the ground there, and it probably hasn't worked out, so they've gone there.
Okay. Wait a minute, though. ECW was on the Sci-Fi Channel, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Who were you marketing on ECW, on Sci-Fi? You're going after guys that are a little bit louder as far as a persona goes. You're going for extreme characters. There's a monster right there, okay? Big Daddy V, who will be in there later on. He's a guy that, I mean, look at him. The way they put him in an outfit was just, I don't know. It was like jump into a parachute. Those are your pants, okay? Then look at Kane. Kane ended up going there. Like, look what they did with the ECW guys. Fucking Kevin Thorne.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they were trying to market, a monster. Now, who were they going to put him against? You mean to tell me that they couldn't have, looking at this, he couldn't just beat and kill all of these guys like Shelton Benjamin?
Yeah.
Or Tommy Dreamer, like taking out the originals.
I think the problem you've always got is you can't push everyone. I think that's always the problem, isn't it?
They didn't push anybody there, though, except for Punk.
Morrison.
Well, Morrison can't. Okay, but Morrison was a guy that they did a complete gimmick change, and they were not originally going to put the strap on him at that time. Remember Benoit?
Yeah.
Benoit, who, when that all happened, they changed Morrison into Jim Morrison.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
So, I'm not going to make this about Snitsky. I really think that, though, it was somebody that
he could have, but for whatever reason, he just didn't see it. So,
yeah.
No, that's the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately.
Yes, sir.
Well, from 20 to 30, I'll go with this one, give your voice a rest for you. We've got Kane Carlito. No. I think it's fair. Don't want you doing all the backbreaking work and me not pulling me weight. You got Kane Carlito, Mick Foley, Mr. Kennedy, Big Daddy V, Mark Henry, Chavo Guerrero, Finlay, Elijah Burke, Triple H, and John Cena. Now, one thing I wanted to tell you here is when Big Daddy V come out,
I knew it.
Ashton was looking at him, and sort of some of you aren't aware. Obviously, you are, Dale. My name is Andrew Donnelly or Andy Donnelly. So Ashton proceeded to call me Big Daddy D. Which I didn't know whether to laugh or kill him, but
that's funny.
I was laughing my head off.
Actually, that was the one guy in this match I wanted to know if he asked more questions about.
Yeah, he did.
Did he realize who it was?
No, he was laughing his head off.
So he saw Big Daddy V, and as a complete newbie watching him for the first time, he said, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah, no, he just started laughing.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Oh. So we have a saying in the UK to describe girls' breasts. We call them Bristol Cities, which you can imagine. And our Ashton went, "Jesus Christ, look at the Bristols on him, Dad."
Look, and that is, we laugh at it. That's the feedback that wrestling companies need to get.
Yeah.
Especially First Image. This is why focus group happens. They take a look at a picture of a guy like that, and your son's laughing.
Yeah. Great, isn't it?
Yeah. Quick hitters on these. Carlito always got over. Mick Foley always got over.
Yeah.
Mr. Kennedy. Man.
Never got it.
Never could. It's sad.
Yeah.
What could have been?
I know. Well, whatever he's done, he must have done something really bad because he just won't. He's just never gone back there, have they?
No. And Great American Bash. I remember seeing him in the dark match against Umaga.
Yeah. Well, right, I've got a little thing here for you. So, little spot is Hornswoggle spent most of the match under the ring before he was forced in by Mark Henry. And then Mark Henry and Big Daddy V started doing him in. And then the next entrance was Finlay, who come out with a shillelagh, as we said before, hit him and disqualified. Now, here's a little tidbit for you. He left the ring with Hornswoggle, and they moved both through the middle ropes and never returned.
He deserves a shot. They both do.
So he was never, ever. So, yeah, no, but Finlay was disqualified, so that explains his out from the match. Okay. But Hornswoggle was never, ever eliminated from that Royal Rumble.
Ah, okay. All right. So he's deserving of a shot like Curtis Axel.
Yeah. Axelmania.
Very good.
Yeah.
Did not know that. All right. So we got to pay attention, folks. So during this match, I think we also still have Michaels in there.
We do. Sean got eliminated. Let me just go back and check again.
And he broke his nose.
He was eliminated by Mr. Kennedy on 32 minutes and 39.
Yeah.
And he was eliminated number 12.
Yeah. I feel like this was a quick Royal Rumble match, too.
Well, it was 51 minutes and 25 seconds was the actual whole Royal Rumble match. And if you look at the whole pay-per-view was only just under 2 hours long, which was very short for the Royal Rumble.
I got home by like 11, I think.
Yeah.
That's crazy. With the trade too. Yeah.
Crazy.
That's with transit. I'll tell you, man. So first off, let's point out how number 28, Elijah Burke, you did a great interview with him last year. So I wanted to bring that up. He was great. He was very transparent. I liked that. I liked how candid he was.
Yeah.
You know, and I think he also wanted to beat the crap out of CM Punk.
Yeah.
You know, because
don't we all?
That could be a whole discussion for another time. At some point, I would love to be a part of that panel, but that's another type of conversation. Triple H came out. Loved seeing Triple H come out. There's a nice little spot in the Rumble where, well, I'll get to that in a second. So Mark Henry's there. So you got the big baddies in there with Big Daddy V. And it just, once Cena comes in, now I booed when Cena came out. Obviously, it's quote unquote the biggest Rumble surprise, but I didn't really miss him. Remember, he ended up actually being out for what, 3 months at that time? Was supposed to be done 8 months. So he comes out. I'm like, all right, this is, I guess, a surprise, but it's just like, well, where did you go? You know, I thought you were supposed to have surgery, but came back. And they all clear the house. Kane gets eliminated by Batista and Triple H. Then you got Triple H, Batista, and John Cena in the middle of the ring. They would do their pose offs. That's when Triple H does the suck it to both of them. Which, when was the last time he did that to both of them?
Yeah,
or just did that. Yeah, exactly. So that was funny. But overall, though, you're having a nice back and forth. Batista ends up getting eliminated. Your final two, Triple H and John Cena. Overall, Andy, would you rather have two people fighting in the ring for a while to eliminate each other, or would you rather have something that's more instantaneous?
It depends how many people are in the ring. So if there's a lot in the ring, I'd rather just get rid of a few to bring it back down again. But as we always seem to get in the closing segments, we always seem to get that same thing of everybody kind of fighting. Do you know what I mean?
Well, what about with the final two?
Yeah, I love it with the final two. Got no problem with that at all. I think the final two should be like that because there's nobody there. They can focus on each other and it's more of a fight. Where when there's people from everywhere, I like the fact of two people will be fighting, someone else will come behind, grab them, throw them over the top rope, because that's realistic. Yeah. That's what would happen.
Yes. Okay, so I get it. The realism would be elevated higher for self-defense mode in a Royal Rumble match, correct?
Yeah, because when there's a lot of people in the ring, you haven't just got to watch the person you're fighting against, you've got to watch the person behind you, the person to the side. Yeah, there's a lot more going on, where when it's a one-on-one fight, it takes a lot longer. It's like if you look at a gang fight, the actual I've been in so many on the mean streets of Belmore. Yeah, the rules of thumb is you're going to get knocked out or seriously hurt a lot quicker than what you would in a one-on-one fight. I agree with that. I think the suspense of disbelief has to be lowered for Royal Rumbles because it's. I'm not going to say it's realism, but it's it's very reactionary. Yeah. And self-defense mode. I get that. All right. Any good spots that you liked in this match? Not really in particular. I liked the match as a whole, but there was nothing to me in this one that really stood out too much for me. Yeah. Except for Santino getting eliminated, kicked in the face. Even that, though, was kind of like, well, I've seen that before with the... It reminds me a lot of Bushwhacker Luke, was it? Oh, yeah, where he just gets tossed out. Yeah. So I was just kind of like, Yeah. But you love the Piper. I love the Piper. And I also like John Cena's pop he got because back then, people not might realise, but John Cena was a very dubious character back then, wasn't he? People were always on the fence about him. So it's like to see him get that kind of pop he got when he come back was nice.
It's unbelievable, I will say, just to be a part of it. I was not happy that he was there because I wanted to see somebody like Batista or Triple H win.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's justified the means, and they would have a subpar triple threat later on at WrestleMania. But overall, that was the Royal Rumble match. What would you give this pay-per-view as a whole?
I give it a solid 3 out of 5.
So is that a 6 out of 10?
Yeah. Yeah, are we going out to 10 now? Oh yeah, we're not melted, are we? I apologize.
No. We're gonna go 6 out of 10 with this as well.
Yeah.
Good things here going on. Mike Adamle fucking up. I think that, out of everything here, always good to see Jimmy Wang Yang, but that's for people that saw the dark match. I like Flair's speech in the beginning when he came out. It's nice to see that they gave him time to thank the crowd at the Garden. That was nice. And him leaving was very nice too, because it was a nice send off. I mean, who thought he was going to win at some point? Like it could keep his career going, even though that was kind of false. Edge, I was a huge Edge fan, so I was happy to see him. And watching a match live, a Royal Rumble match in person, is fun as hell.
Yeah, I bet it is, all the countdowns and the cheering and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Going 6 out of 10. Andy, what's next on the docket, my friend?
Okie doke. So we're gonna jump till 2007.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Now you may think 2007 Royal Rumble. Well, you will be mistaken, my friend. Because we are going to do New Year's Revolution 2007. John Cena versus Umaga for the WWE Championship. And it took place on the 7th of January 2007. So a little bit of a curveball. That's something different from a Royal Rumble. And then we will revisit Royal Rumbles after that.
I love it. That's a great idea. You know what? Let's go into everything here. That's wonderful. I would love it. So New Year. All right. So guys, check out our next episode. It's going to be New Year's Revolution 2007. All right. And we'll see. Maybe somebody gets strangled by ropes. Who knows?
All right. We'll have to wait and see. Well, guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, thumb up, all that good stuff. And from me and Dale, we will see you again, same time, same place next week. But until then, have a good week.
Enjoy, everybody. Go, John.